Welcome to the Rebel Rebel. It's a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Michael Dargy. Support for the RebelRebel Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. The 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code REBEL at manscaped.com. I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0, and I'm absolutely blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship and details on the 4.0 are next level, and I'm going to tell you, it has a 4,000K LED spotlight, which I didn't think I wanted or needed, but I tell you what, it makes all the difference in the world. Get the Lawnmower 4.0. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code REBEL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code REBEL. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tool for the job with Manscaped. Welcome to the Rebel Rebel. I'm your host, Michael Dargy, and strategically placed in an entirely different province. Please welcome back to the show, Tony McGrath.
Hey guys, great to see you, Michael.
You as well, Tony.
You look well.
Thank you. I'm loving life.
I like the mohawk haircut too.
Oh, thanks. And I can't get in to get it trimmed because all the barbers shops are closed right now.
You could probably do it yourself.
I could. I mean, so I did the mohawk when we came back from Maui. We came back from Maui March 11th, 2020, went into quarantine because you had to. Mm-hmm. And I think day 4 is when I had Jen shave a mohawk into my head.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you. If it's one thing I learned from growing up in the 80s is, during the apocalypse, have a mohawk, a motorcycle, and chaps.
Yeah. And a bunker somewhere, and there you are in your bunker.
So when last we spoke, you are the very first person I've had come back on the show. Now,
oh, thank you.
Yeah,
it must have been so bad the first time. We've got to have another kick at the can.
Well, you were season 1.
Yeah, that's right. I was one of the earlies.
Yeah, November 20th, 2018.
I had just joined the Grand.
Yeah. Yeah, you just joined the Grand.
And here I am, like, I just left the Grand.
So
full circle.
Yeah. So why don't catch me up? So you were running the Grand. How was that? And then what happened? And
well, as you know, I'd never been in the arts. I'd never run a theatre. I'd never managed a building of that size or complexity or vintage.
Yeah.
In my career, and it was kind of serendipity that I got there, and it has been the most remarkable career experience of my life. It was incredible. I was very blessed to be able to put together a very young, creative team there. We in the main employed people from the arts in business roles like business development and front of house management and those kind of things. So I think the team did an incredible job rebuilding the brand. As you know, we got pretty well known in the city in a short space of time and revitalized it. We had some incredible shows, really opened the doors up to all Calgarians. Like we had everybody from the Italian community and the Nigerian community and Chinese New Year, and we had politicians from both sides of the political spectrum. Rachel and our current premier were both in the theatre. So we had developed, we didn't actually have a written diversity policy or anything like that. We developed, and I think I saw it in the Beltline Diner. That's where I stole it from, was a welcome policy. So you're welcome here. This place is safe.
Yeah.
So you are welcome in this theatre. We really don't care as long as you don't bring hatred or racism. So that we left it at that, and it worked well. It became Calgary's theatre. But then March 13th happened last year, and we pretty much in an afternoon lost everything.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I had to lay my team off personally, which was challenging for me on a number of levels. And I decided to do it by taking a walk in Prince's Island with each one of them individually instead of doing the normal sit down, here's your pink slip.
Yeah.
We went and had a chat about exactly why this was happening. And, I went on half hours because basically I was the building manager at that point.
Right.
And I actually left the theatre at the end of my contract at the end of December. So, I got blessed with working with a great team, a great board. Yeah. The relationship that we developed with our two new resident theatre companies, Black Radish with...
Oh, yeah, I love Black Radish.
With those boys and with Making Treaty 7. And, I'm pretty... We made some Canadian history with Treaty 7. It was myself and Justin Manyfingers went for a coffee and shook hands. Well, it was the first time in Canadian history that a major theatre had a Indigenous theatre company resident in it.
Really?
Yeah. So it was quite, and that's in Calgary.
Wow, that's amazing.
And to the best of my knowledge, they're still there. So, I departed at the end of December. Everything was very amicable. I would rather have stayed, but the situation. Here we are approaching June. Yeah. And still locked down. So, I think the future financially of the theatre is secure.
Yeah. Oh, good.
There were some things in place that I think have been executed on now. And, so I think the future is pretty certain, but I'm not sure entirely what that will look like. Yeah. But the Grand was a beautiful episode in my life. I've loved it. Yeah. I love being there. I actually think my young team made a difference in the city for a while. We were a bit of a beacon of hope and a lighthouse in a downtown area during a very difficult time in Calgary. And, the team are all off doing their different things. I think one's a florist now, and one, Alexander is in sales at Mercedes-Benz. She was a dancer when she joined me, had never been in business. And Chantel is doing her thing with dance now. So I even managed to get some virtual events going at the end of last year. We got a little bit going. And of course, during Black Lives Matter, Wake was in and did his piece to speak on behalf of our community, because I didn't feel I was the appropriate person to speak as the Grand's voice in those circumstances. And Wake was our resident.
He's a poet in residence, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So he wrote a piece called Blackout, and uncensored. I had no part in the curation of it, no part in I had not read it or heard it before he performed it, and we put it live. So he was,
love that.
That's my role, is to create an open space. That's it. It's not to decide what can and can't. And we had Black Lives Matter here across our marquee sign during the marches.
Right on.
And again, not a fluffy, flowery, old white man statement. It's just, they matter here. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and Wake spoke on behalf of our community very well, I thought.
Yeah. Oh, I love Wakefield.
Yeah.
He's just a lovely.
We're good friends.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So
You've frozen, Michael.
Check. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
That's my Zoom dance that I do whenever Zoom locks up.
Yeah, it just froze there for a moment.
You get the weirdest expressions. You're like,
yeah. So in the middle of all this, I bought a place in Kelowna.
Well, good. So Kelowna's lovely. So what are you doing out there?
Well, I'm working on life balance at the moment. So, yeah, I lived here before with my kids. I think, I don't know if you recall, but I was a sole parent before I met Marcy, and so my kids lived on the beach here for a couple of years. So I've always wanted to come back. Yeah. And my intent was to find a business down here or find a business opportunity. And but it looks like I'm going to be working back in Calgary. Yeah, so I am going to be joining as managing director a nano-technology business based in Calgary.
Oh, sweet.
So the specifically around the large LED signs you see everywhere, and they have a ton of equipment sits behind them.
Yeah. Wow.
Wiring and condensers. And one of the initiatives from this company is to condense it down to just a chip to run it. So they've got, the parent company has a lab at the University of Calgary. And I can't mention the company's name at this point because but I've got a young team of scientists and sales across North America. So, my role will be to grow the company, and our intent is to grow the company in Calgary and create jobs in Calgary.
Oh, love it. Tech sector, yes.
Very yeah. And they're already in revenue. Probably this year they'll be around 3.5 million gross. Oh. So, my objective is to get that above 20. Yeah, and be a business that matters and has real jobs and real money to support real families. And
I love it.
I'm looking forward to that. I've never been in tech before. I had to Google what nanotechnology means.
Oh my God, Tony.
I know. I just spoke on a podcast this week about being 64 years old, and I feel like I'm just starting, Michael. I'm not afraid of this at all, and I'm excited to be doing it. It's got a lot of flexibility for me, and I think Calgary and Alberta needs jobs right now. We need meaningful jobs.
Absolutely.
Not jobs 2 years down the road. We need meaningful jobs right now, I think so.
Yeah. Well, and I just love hearing good news tech stories coming out of Calgary, because I think it's a sector did you hear that?
No.
Oh, good. Okay. It's a sector that we lose people to. We've got a bit of a tech drain of people leaving Calgary to go to other places, and with more of these opportunities, we can keep those good people here.
What is interesting, Marcy's the program director at an organization called Intergen Connect, very active in the city, and they connect high growth businesses, generally 5 million a year or more, who want to grow rapidly, with veteran entrepreneurs and business people with the intent of opening doors that can't be opened normally. Yeah. And they're seeing a huge upsurge right now in tech jobs in Calgary, in tech jobs that matter.
Great, yeah.
In both gaming, biotech, medical technology. There's a lot going on in the city that's happening behind the scenes. And,
that's great.
And they've got people like Jim Gray behind them. Brian Falesky's on the board. So they're people who can call the CEO of SaskTel and get lunch. Yeah, but for our companies, right?
Yeah.
So that they are doors that aren't normally open to our businesses. But we've seen it with a couple of our friends' businesses where they've been sitting in at lunch with people they would never have dreamed possible.
Wow.
And you can go from 5 to 10 million pretty quickly with those kind of doors open. In fact, you can almost destroy your business because you go, oh shit, now we have to actually produce the goods and find the people.
But buckle up.
Yeah, so I don't know if tech is our answer, but it's one of the answers.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I have a lot of respect for our oil and gas people in Alberta. They're incredible entrepreneurs. they can weld anything, fix anything, adapt anything. And I think it's just a matter of taking our real, I don't know what the right term is, but like our smokestack entrepreneurs and retooling to a great degree. I mean, I've worked with a great company called Latium up in near Edmonton.
Yeah.
Used to outfit trucks going into the oil and gas field. So the oil and gas company would lease the truck, and then these guys would outfit it with the steps and the antenna and the boxes and the bumpers. And they're now a technology business with it started with driver behavior technology, and now they're tracking wheat rail cars and cattle in Kenya.
Wow.
So, there are things that I think there are things we can do to retool our incredible entrepreneurial spirit in Alberta.
Yeah, I agree.
And, it's not just tech, but tech is important. And I think if we're going to refill downtown, it's not going to be at $65 a square foot anymore, but it can be refilled.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it'd be great to see more people downtown. That's for sure.
Yeah, I live downtown there. It's been a bit of a ghost town for a while. And my daughter works at Enbridge, and they're not back to the office yet.
Yeah, we were doing some advertising campaigns for a company that we were on some billboards on 9th Avenue and just didn't see the traffic. Like
nothing.
Yeah, so it's shocking.
But then you don't pay any less for parking now. Like, and you still got to pay for parking on Saturdays. And I think the city and InPark need to have some realism around that. It should be, Kelowna is like $1 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, literally. And like, when there's nobody downtown, why are we still charging $400 a month and $400?
Oh, I know.
There's nobody using the space. So.
Yeah. I'm so excited for your new adventure, Tony. And I think one of your superpowers is always, being able to create these great teams and giving them the runway to do cool stuff.
Yeah. I've been doing that since my early 20s, and I still got people in my life now that I hired when I was 21 years old. They're still in my life to this day. And that's not just because of me, that's because of the community that we created in the teams that were built. And I just got a lovely email this week from a young lady called Jacqueline Keats, who works at the Law Society now. And she worked for me, and I hired her at an insurance company I ran. I didn't know much about insurance either, Michael. I'm still not sure.
Oh my God, Tony!
I don't think that's important.
You know what, though? I mean, it's not surprising.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm going to find out that you're going to be working for NASA next, and you've never built a rocket ship before, and it will not surprise me that you'll be hugely successful at that as well.
Oh, well, I don't know, but I think a lot of our leaders forget that the firepower in the business is its people. We talk about it.
Yeah.
I've noticed we've shifted away from human resource managers now, which is a horrible term, to people and culture managers. Yeah. But I'm not entirely sure anything's changed.
Right. Just a different label.
It's possible. I think we got more focus on that now, but like your people are your secret sauce. There is no other secret sauce.
Yeah.
You can spend billions on marketing. If you've got shitty people, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
It's so true. Yeah.
Like you call any one of the major cell phone companies and try and speak to their customer service department. I had an hour and a half on the phone last week because my TELUS internet went down, or was it the week before? And I got a call center, I think somewhere in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that at all.
And however, people.
However, there was a rooster in the background the whole way through the call. So, it is a little off-putting.
Yeah.
Like, I think somebody should maybe listen in sometimes or something and go like, maybe this isn't quite the image that we wanted to portray for Canada's major internet and cell phone provider. I don't know. Maybe not.
But like all bets are off right now with COVID, right?
Yeah.
There's no end of weird stuff that happens on Zoom calls and meetings, and
people are like, I think, mental health has been a bit of a cliche topic.
Yeah.
But we've got a collective problem right now. I think people are lost.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best word for it. I think we're lost in the fog at the moment. We've lost touch with each other, and Kelowna by Calgary standards is pretty normal at the moment.
Oh,
because it's patio season, so only the patios are opening restaurants, so nobody really gives a shit. So
yeah,
who wants to be inside anyway when it's 23 and sunny? So
oh my god.
No, so we live close to Sarson's Beach here, and it was packed at the weekend when it was hot. So
that's so
there's a bit of a different approach in it. It's a smaller city, it's isolated, and
right.
But I think we've got a bit of a communal depression going on.
Certainly you can feel it. It's tangible.
Yeah, as you know, I'm been sober a lot of years, and the recovery community in all its different forms, it has been struggling.
Oh, for sure.
And we're open. Our meetings are open as an essential service, but it's limited to 15 people. So there's a lot of Zoom calls, and you can gradually feel the deflation happen over the months.
Oh, man.
So I don't know what the relapse rate would be right now, but just regular people are drinking more.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you read about that all the time.
We got a friend with a cannabis retail operation down here, and it's nuts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can't keep the stock on the shelves.
Wow.
I don't know why. I only ever tried it once in my life, and it messed up my drinking. So
I got a friend of mine sent me over some little gummies.
Yeah.
And they're mostly CBD for sleep. Mm-hmm. And I had one, and I had some gummy stress. I was like, you shouldn't be stressed when you eat a gummy, but it was great. I had a wonderful sleep. So,
I think it's an industry that's quite remarkable in its transformation and evolution. I think
absolutely.
It's gone from basically everybody thinking it's just potheads running it. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with a pothead at all, but it's a very professional, well-run, well-researched industry now. And,
yeah, for sure.
It's amazing. Yet smoking when I grew up was a acceptable industry, and it's not anymore.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what are 5 things, Tony, that you wish people would know? And it doesn't have to be
about anything.
About anything. When you're out there on the beach and you're just like, oh, I wish people knew how to, I don't know, maybe build a sandcastle properly.
There's all this career shit. I wish I had known at 20 that career really doesn't matter that much. Go have fun while you're young.
Yeah.
Go do it. If you want to go to Japan or go surfing, go do it. Yeah. Because I think we spend a lot of our lives waiting to do it in retirement.
Right.
And we worked in the insurance business, and actuaries will tell you statistically that a lot of people don't even live to enjoy the money once they retire, because once they lose their job identity.
Yeah.
I think another thing would be quit worrying and overthinking, because most of the things that you worry about never even happen.
It's true.
They just don't. So why would you waste? Because I think it's attributed to Buddha, but I'm not sure. It might be Tony Robbins or something. Maybe he said it was Buddha, or Wayne Dyer did. I'm not sure. But it's the trouble is you don't know how much time you have.
Right.
So why would you waste time sitting on a beach worrying about things that may not even happen? So I think finding a way to be peaceful in your head. Yeah. I think mindfulness is a big movement in the world at the moment. And I don't love the word, but I get it. Living in the moment has been around for thousands and thousands of years, literally. And we stop doing that when we grow up.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens. I was out at Quantum Leaps Retreat Center last year, which is in Golden, BC. It's in the middle of nowhere, just beautiful on the Kicking Horse River. And the weather wasn't fantastic, but I was lying on a hammock, and before I realized it, I'd spent an hour just tracing little pictures in the sand with a twig like a little boy. And I want more of that.
Yeah.
I think that being a little boy again is really everything we try and encapsulate with all of these apps and courses around meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go sit and color a book or something.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. How many is that?
I think that's 3.
Okay, so I need another one.
You need 2 more.
Oh, yeah.
I ask all the hard questions.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff about age at the moment. I see it's all over LinkedIn at the moment, and I'm at an age now where I'm like at least 14 years past my sell-by date by societal standards. And I get asked a lot, like, because I don't particularly look my age. I'm blessed in that way, but like how do I put this? There are things I hate hearing. Is like you look good for your age.
Right.
I hate it. Like I think I look exactly how I'm supposed to, but I think stop worrying about age and aging and worry more about looking after yourself a little bit, because then age takes care of itself. So things like I mentioned, less worry. Yeah. Because most of it's not going to happen. Paying attention to your diet. I think not drinking and not smoking has been a huge asset to me, and I think drinking in moderation has health benefits, but a lot of us don't, and it's classified as a depressant. So like we get to have a bad day and we feel a little low, so we drink a liter of depressant to fix it. Like, yeah, I'm not sure that it's marketed that way. It's like have a glass of wine, and feel better. But I think my grandma always said moderation in everything. I think that's a good byword in life. Like I hate the gym, for instance. Like I hate it, but I love walking.
Right.
So I probably walk 8 to 10 kilometers every day.
Oh, nice.
So I can spin in business if I want to do it, talk on the walk, or if I want to meditate or listen to music or a podcast. That time, and I split it sometimes. It might be half an hour in the morning and a bit more at night. I can go for a walk with my wife or friends or on my own. It's an incredible exercise regime. And I can get a fair speed on, but like it's the cheapest gym I've ever had.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just a pair of shoes.
Yeah. And number 5 would be don't grow old wishing. Do it now. My father's a lovely man in the main. And he was going to go to Australia and he was going to live in the Canary Islands and he was going to go to Spain, and they did travel a chunk when they first retired, but my mum's very sick now, so he's looking after her. So just go do it. Go do it. You can travel like a rock star and not very much money. Yeah. You don't have to have I've traveled and some nights I've camped on a beach and some nights I've been in the Hyatt Regency. You can get deals. Like it's just a matter of like, I'm going to go and I'm going to travel well. I'm not going to travel like a pauper. Yeah. But go do it. Don't grow old wishing, because I hear that a lot. You talk to people who talk, I wish I'd traveled more. I've never heard anybody say, I wish I'd worked harder.
Yeah, true.
Or worked more.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah, because money at the end of the day, Michael, is merely a passport to freedom. It doesn't buy you happiness. Yeah. At all.
Yeah. Oh, it's very wise. What?
It's not mine. Don't think any of those thoughts are mine.
What? Do you spend time reading?
I love fiction.
Kind of your pastime?
Fiction, I love.
Okay.
I probably haven't read a leadership book in 20 years.
Yes.
I hate all that stuff. I don't read self-help books too much. I buy them sometimes, but they make because I think it's a good idea. I have a daily reading regime, which is it's kind of around the recovery area of my life, but they're like daily affirmations. I read them every day.
Oh, good.
I've got one from the Tao. I've got one from Hazeldean. I've got As Bill Sees It from AA. And I also have a book we discovered probably 15 or 16 years ago called Anam Cara, Anamcara, by an author called John O'Donoghue. He's a Jesuit priest who writes on Celtic spirituality. The Celtic spirituality part is not, but I've been reading it for years on and off. I just open it randomly, and the level of it's not an easy read. Yeah. Like he's a Jesuit priest, so he writes in Swahili, it seems sometimes. But the gems of wisdom from that book have been remarkable. And I love Wayne Dyer. He's passed now, but I got to see him in Edmonton. But like he's repackaged a lot of ancient wisdom in stuff a simple guy like me can understand.
Oh, that's
I like so cool. that. So he's got some really good books out that are definitely worth a read, because it doesn't have to be complex. But he's got nothing original. It's just, this is all ancient teachings. He just speaks in American English.
Yeah. Oh,
this is what it is. So, I love fiction. I love historical fiction because before bed or first thing in the morning, it takes you away from the world a little bit, I think. Don't have to think too much.
What's your favorite place in the world?
Ooh, I've got a few. I have a business down in Zihuatanejo in Mexico, which is a day's drive south of Puerto Vallarta. That we're part owners of a boutique resort there.
You're right.
It's incredible. I love Ireland. Such a warm, wet, beautiful country. That's where a lot of my family are from. My favorite country in the world is Canada. Yeah. That's why I chose to settle here. It is. We're almost boringly apolitical. Our controversy is the Prime Minister being being foolish and dressing up in silly costumes. That's kind of the limit of got involved. That's as crazy as it gets here. Our scenery is remarkable. Our diversity is beautiful. I chose to live here. I think this is God's country, and I've been coast to coast in Canada completely. I love it.
Do you have a favorite place in Canada?
Well, I'm standing in one of them right now in Kelowna. I do love the Okanagan Valley. I think it has something quite special. Love Tofino. My son's in the military. He's based out in Fredericton, New Brunswick. So I love the Maritimes too. Very fond of Quebec as a province. It is really beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
It's hard to go anywhere here, except even the prairies have their own beauty.
Yeah.
Like driving across Saskatchewan and then around Ontario, that's a long way with nothing. But
I know. we used to have a house in Cochrane, Ontario. So that's just below Moosonee. So it's as far north as you can go. And we would drive from Calgary to our house. And by the time we hit the Ontario border, we were halfway there.
Yes. Ontario is huge. And I had this romantic view of driving around the Great Lakes on the cross-country trip. Yeah. We're going to see my son graduate. But you can't see the lake. For the vast, 3 days, you see forest.
Yeah.
You have to actually pull off the road to go see the lake. And every once in a while, you get a glimpse of water, but we were at places like Marathon in Ontario on the lake there.
Wow!
But it's a remarkable country. So I can't think of a more favorite country on the planet than the one I live in. So
that's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
Tony, what are if you could give advice to, because you're transitioning right now. And you certainly have been there, done that. You've done a lot of things in your life, and
mostly accidental.
Which I love. I think that's fantastic. What advice would you give to those people that I call rebels in waiting? These people just about to, or in the process of making that change that might help them out.
I think you've got to lose fear that you can't do something, or you're not able to, or they would never pick you. I think you've got to lose that fear and, give it a shot, apply for the job, start the business. You don't always have to have an innovative idea. You can be third or fourth or fifth to market.
True.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a brand new idea or something cool. Entrepreneurship is very fashionable at the moment. That's a fucking tough road.
Oh, yeah.
I've done that. That's a hard road, and I think sometimes a job is a better deal going somewhere where there's a good team, and you can enjoy the company culture, and finding somewhere where you fit the company culture and you're going to get up in the morning and look forward to going to work is probably worth taking 20 grand a year less than you would have done.
Fair enough.
I think, so, you don't always have to be the cool kid being an entrepreneur and starting a tech giant, because most entrepreneurs don't make it. The vast majority don't make it. And it is cool and it's lovely, but that's a hard life, and you need to be a different kind of person to do it. It's quite lonely.
Yeah.
So I think twice about that. But if you're going to do it, you don't have to have something brand new. Like, you don't have to be going on Shark Tank. Like, you can open a cookie store or a car cleaning business, or and just be very, very good at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to go find a new idea. So I think, business ideas, people sit and scratch their heads and are like, what am I going to do? I've had a couple pop up in the last week. One was for realtor signs. How can we make biodegradable realtor signs? So I'm going to take a look at it, because it doesn't seem like anybody's doing it.
Huh.
Not a unique idea at all, but But that's just, somebody said, why don't we? So I'm going, okay, let me go take a look at that.
I love that question. Why don't we?
Yeah. So I got a partner in the investment world, and we're looking at a very boutique jewelry business to purchase, because nobody wants to buy into retail at the moment. But this is not normal retail, and maybe there's something there. I don't know. Just looking under the rocks a little bit. So.
Oh, great. Tony, this has been absolutely so much fun, and I just love spending time with you.
You're always a beautiful host, Michael. So
thanks so much for being on the show, and until next time.
Okay, till next time. Time 3. Okay, take care. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.